Hello there, Amanda here. Today I'm going to flip through our history and science curriculum from Core Knowledge. This is something that I don't see a lot of on YouTube right now, and I feel like people would really benefit from being able to look through and kind of have an idea of how to teach from these resources. So, Core Knowledge offers free homeschool curriculum. I think all of the curriculum they offer can be free, or it's like downloads, so you can read off of your screen for free. I don't like to read off of a screen, so I actually paid to have something sent to me. They have the student readers, which are very thin for kindergarten level. And then they also have the teacher's guide. Now, I did not buy the teacher's guide straight from the website. I downloaded the free download and then had it printed at the Homeschool printing company because the teacher's guides were like $35, which, I mean, if they were like the kind of teacher's guides that you see in school with a thick cover and not spiral bound, then I get it for $35, but I didn't need that. And then these were, I want to say they were like $7 something per book. Now this is just the kindergarten stuff. I don't know how expensive the older grades are. I'm assuming the price goes up just because the amount of material would have to go up. But you get these two things, and that's your unit. They do come in units, so you don't just have one book and that's the whole year. I think so for science this year, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 science units, and actually that's not even all of them because I'm pretty sure that they came out with another unit after I had done my initial buying of everything. So I didn't buy, I think it's the 5 senses. I didn't buy the student reader of that, but I did go ahead and print out the teacher's guide for it, and we'll just make do. So there are 5 science units and 4 history units for the kindergarten age. So in the student reader, it's full color if you buy it from the website. And there's not a lot of reading because kindergartners usually aren't at a high level of reading. But there's lots of good pictures to kind of immerse them into whatever they're learning, and very good facts about things. These are great. I actually really like these. And I feel like even when we're done with them, we can keep them and use them as reference books for stuff in the future. Maybe not everything, but some things that we really are into. So we're doing, our current science unit right now is Needs of Plants and Animals. And our current history unit is the Native Americans. And my daughter's really into this, and we're learning a lot. So this might be just something that we hold on to, just to read over and over. And actually the way that this is done, it's very cool. It's like stories about, so this one starts with, one sunny day, little Rabbit was chopping wood outside his family's longhouse. His father, his uncle, and his brother had gone hunting. So it's not just boring facts. It's like we're reading an actual story. So I like this one a lot. They're not all like that. They kind of are, but on different levels. So it's still like reading a story to be more engaging for a kindergartner. But I feel like some of them are more just facts laid out, and some of them are more interesting, like storybook. Okay, so the student reader. Then with the teacher's guide, it is a standard like school teacher's guide. These core knowledge resources are actually used in schools, in public schools, and that's what they're geared towards. The problem that I have with that, and it's not a problem, it's just not necessarily working out for me 100%. The knowledge that you gain from doing this is great, and we are learning. I want something a little bit different. So you have your table of contents at the front, and then there's a bunch of stuff at the beginning. The introduction is very long, and it's just for you as the instructor to learn a little bit about what you're teaching and how core knowledge units work. There's a pacing guide and a little calendar included so that you can plan out. So it says this particular unit, we recommend you spend a minimum of 20 days and a maximum of 30 days teaching the needs of plants and animals unit so that you have time to teach the other units in the series. And that kind of little information is in all of the beginnings of all the teacher guides, and it will tell you specifically based on that one. So this one's kind of a longer unit. The Native Americans unit's not as long. Let's see what they recommend for pacing. It just says, I guess the maximum is 20 days or so for that one. Well, actually, no. Because this one goes all the way to day 40. Anyways, I'll spend a lot longer teaching needs of plants and animals than I will teaching Native Americans. So, then you get into it and you see this is the overview of the entire unit, and then it's the overview of, there's a big question always. There's always a big question. So it tells you what is the big question, and then each lesson that you teach has its own question, or each section of the unit has its own question, and then each lesson has its own question. So this question down here on this level, the lesson level, will answer, 3 or 4 of them all together will eventually answer the section question. And then that section question, after you finish the entire thing, will eventually be the answers that you need to answer the big question, which is through the entire unit. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of teacher development sections just so you can learn more about what you're teaching. I mean, we still haven't gotten to the lesson yet, and we're on page 19. So that, it's all just for you to learn. And then there's an at-a-glance section. And it tells you unit opener, objectives, references. It tells you different vocabulary words and stuff. And then as you're getting into each section, it says instructional resources, materials, and equipment. So they also have worksheets in the back. And anytime there's this symbol, that tells you you're going to need a worksheet from the back of the book, and this is the worksheet. And then this is the student book symbol, and it tells you what you're going to be reading in the student book. There's also these symbols. And this is when you need to do something online, and they have all the online stuff that you need right on the website. You just go to the Core Knowledge website, and then you click on curriculum, and then you click on science, and then you click on needs of plants and animals, and it's divided by unit. So not unit, section. It's divided by section. So if you're in section 1, section 1.1, section 1.2, those are all there. So then here you see, okay, so this is where we're actually starting. So this is where you actually start instructing and reading from the student book. And as you can see, it has the black and white page of the student book. Let me get the reference page for you. Okay, so it tells you, you know, have your student open to this page, and then you're reading from the page. It says, let me see if it says it here. Okay, while some advanced students may be able to read words on a given page of the student book, as a general rule, students should not be expected or asked to read aloud the text on the student pages. The text in the student book is there so that teachers and parents can read it when sharing the student book with students. So you are expected to read. That's why you have the little inset picture of that page. You're expected to read the page, and they just follow along and look at the pictures. My daughter is a pretty good reader, so she will read some of the pages herself. But this is kind of set to be used in a classroom. So it'll talk about other students in the classroom, and it'll say, you know, you need 25 to 30 of this thing, and there are projects where they expect you to have playground equipment and a mini golf course we did last unit. And luckily we happened to go on a trip to a resort that had mini golf, so it was like perfect for us. But I do not just have a mini golf course in my classroom, you know, and I don't have a lot of these things that are expected. And then one thing that they had us do was like take 4 plants and put a plant in a closet and put a plant under a desk and put a plant here and put a plant there. And while I could have done those things, I feel like for just my one daughter, some of the experiments are kind of either not necessary, not really as informative as they would be for a larger group of people, because her and I can just have a conversation and experience it in real time with the plants that already exist and stuff. It's just obviously, very obviously geared towards a classroom setting. In the pushes and pulls unit, which we really enjoyed, my daughter loved this and did very well. And we were able to do most of the experiments. Again, like I said, one of them was like mini golf, and one of them was creating our own obstacle course, and one of them was figuring out how things would move when pushed on different surfaces. So like we used carpet, tile, wood, those things to kind of, you know, have different textured surfaces to see how things would move. And we were able to do all those. However, some of them were like divide your class into groups and have them work together and do these things. And I have one child, so I can't do that. So she and I just kind of had to do things together, and it was a little more difficult because it was like, have one group do this thing, have one group do this thing, have one group do this thing, and have one group do this thing. These 4 different things. Each group should only do one thing, and then you all come together and discuss it. Well, that meant that we had to do all of those things, just the 2 of us. So it's not a big deal. It's really not. And we were able to do all of them. It's just very obviously geared towards a classroom setting. And while I'm okay with that, and we're doing okay, we're enjoying it, fine, it works. Personally, I want to try something a little different. So, like I said, these are free. They're very thorough. I've only used the kindergarten stuff so far, but I know that the material inside is good, and I'm pretty sure it's going to continue to be good, but I'm not 100% sure we're going to continue with it. So I'll just go through what the units for kindergarten are, just so that you have an idea if it's something you want to look into. Let's explore our world. This was like a study of the different continents. That was pretty cool. We actually just did that last year, so wishing I had this at the time. I don't know if I hit the camera or not. Move that. Okay. And then Native Americans. This is their history and geography section. Native Americans, we're really enjoying this. And then next we'll be moving on to exploring and moving to America. The Mount Rushmore presidents. And those 4 are the 4 history and geography units. Then for science, it was pushes and pulls first. Now we're on needs of plants and animals, which, okay. The other thing that I have a problem with is my daughter is pretty smart and can grasp things pretty easily. So we have been going over this. How far even are we? Let's see. We're not even that far. Oh my gosh. Have we even done the second chapter? No. We're still in chapter 1 of this because you don't read a chapter every day. Sometimes you like read a chapter and then work on it for a couple days. She gets it. It's just so redundant. And I don't want to skip over too much because I feel like there might be something really good right there. So I keep going and then I feel like, oh wait, no, we didn't need to do that. She doesn't need so much repetitiveness. And I know that if there was a class, if I was teaching a class of 30 students, some of them would need more and some of them would need less. With my daughter, who I know very well, she doesn't need that much. Next, we're going to do changing environments. And these are ordered for you. I'm assuming this is number 3. So I don't even have to worry about like what order I do them in. They're in order already. And then weather patterns. And then, like I said, I think they came out with the 5 senses afterwards, but I had already started the school year. So, okay. So those are all of the science and history units for kindergarten. They don't take a super long time to get through, but I think I want something more. We've been headed towards more of a Charlotte Mason path in our homeschool and in our lives, honestly, because I had already kind of been implementing a lot of Charlotte Mason things just without realizing it, because that's sort of the philosophy I live by anyway. So I would like to try to pull more from that where I'm not already. So one of the things that I want to do is sort of do some more, natural world science. And if you've seen my Under the Home video, I am hoping I'll get a chance to use their science and history next year. It's free. I'll leave a link to that video in the description because I talk about it and gush about it forever. And it's great. And I actually had a comment recently on that video asking what science and history I use now because I mentioned not wanting to use it in the future. This does work. I'm not saying this is bad. It's great, actually. And I think more people should know about it because it is a free resource if you use it that way. I didn't. I paid for some stuff. That's okay. It was still very affordable. But it is like public school standards. And while there's nothing wrong with that, it's not what I'm hoping for in my home. So that was a lot. And I'm sure I was all over the place the whole time. And I'm sure editing this will be a breeze. But thank you so much for watching. I have some plans for some videos coming up. And I really hope you guys are into it because party stuff is underway. I am doing party stuff and I'm getting things ready. And then I was cutting things out and preparing things and making stuff. And my daughter comes in the room and says, "Are you filming a video of this, Mama?" No, I'm not. No, I didn't think about putting the camera on and sharing this with everybody. So next time I get into it, it'll happen. So thanks for watching.